Hey, what's up everybody? This is UnhingedGaming and I'm coming out with some more fresh high quality content. Today I'm going to be talking about the controversy between FaZe, Alissa, and the Barley House, which has been a pretty big thing in YouTube recently, and I'm mainly talking about it because it is a big thing and because there's not a whole lot else going on right now, and that's always one of those things when you have a schedule and you're trying to talk about controversies and news and stuff. Sometimes you don't have much to talk about. But it is a very interesting thing, and it goes a lot further than just, drama. And Philip DeFranco actually covered this, and I would advise, I'm going to put his video in the description because he gives a much better, he really explains what happened very well and very concisely. I just got done watching it, and I put it on high speed so that I could kind of just skim through it and get the gist of everything that happened. Because, it's always hard for me to talk about things like this because Phil DeFranco has already covered it, and obviously he is a lot bigger of a deal than I am. So, not a whole lot of people are going to choose my video over his, so I like to try to offer something different than you're getting from the Phil DeFranco show and Drama Alert and all of those people who are, a lot bigger and covering it. But basically, I'm just going to give a quick summary. FaZe Banks got a whole lot of controversy around him at a restaurant bar called Barley House. Essentially, he claimed that his side of the story is that a guy sexually assaulted his girlfriend, and there was a fight. He got dragged out by the neck by a bouncer for no reason, and he broke his finger punching a guy who was trying to choke his girlfriend, Alissa. Or Alissa. I'm actually not sure. I think I might have her name wrong. Anyway, point being, that's his side of the story. The Barley House responded with essentially that he was in an area that he wasn't supposed to be in, and they tried to escort him out. He instigated the fight. No one sexually assaulted his girlfriend. Yada yada yada. So some footage was released, and it shows that that his girlfriend was assaulted by at least two women. One who, but both times she got hit for trying to Snapchat them, which is not okay. Like, it seems very much an over. Like, I understand someone's shoving a phone in your face, but that doesn't mean you hit them. And then what you do see is FaZe Banks beating the shit out of a guy who it is unclear whether he is assaulting his girlfriend or just trying to keep her and another woman off of each other. He claimed that he was choking her out, but I've seen the footage and it really does not appear to be that. It really looks like he's grabbing her to not get knocked over, and that's also what Philip DeFranco said. I agree with that. Now, that being said, I think that the hitting him in the head and hitting him as much as he did is an overreaction. I think that that's in the wrong. At the same time, when you see a guy grabbing your girlfriend, and it's worth noting that he was not part of the Barley House staff. FaZe Banks said that he claimed he was. So at the time that this happened, he believed that he was. But there's also proof that they knew he wasn't by 4 a.m. And this all happened after the bar closed. So what I will say is, in that situation, I can understand how that would look like you just see someone grabbing your girlfriend, and especially when you're already pissed off, like, because of whatever else happened up to that point, I could see that being a big, like, I could see that kind of reaction. Like, I don't know that he was completely in the wrong in that situation if he really did just misunderstand the situation, which I think would be very easy to do. Now, the other thing that I want to cover really quick is that there was kind of a discrepancy because there were two things covered by Barley House. One of them said that he was in the underground restricted area, the like kind of basement area where the women's bathroom was, and where at night, it's also where the office was, and late at night there's a woman in the office counting money, and that's why they didn't want him down there, which is completely understandable. He claimed that they said he could be down there, but he was eventually asked to leave, and you do see footage of that. Now, that claimed that he was standing outside of the women's bathroom. A different story claimed that he had actually gone into the women's bathroom, and that's where they found him. Now, when you review the footage, you see him go out of frame to where the women's bathroom would be, but it's unclear whether he's going into the women's bathroom or if he's just going to the other side of the hallway. And when the bouncer comes down the stairs, it is unclear whether he sees him standing on the other side of the hallway or he hears him inside of the women's bathroom. So there is definitely some inconsistencies there, that it's unclear exactly what happened. Additionally, you don't see the first confrontation. FaZe Banks claims that it was the bouncer that was first violent. The Barley House claims that it was him who was first violent. You don't see the original confrontation, or you see the original confrontation, but you don't see the first point of contact in any of the security footage that's been released. So what you do see is Richie, that's the name of the bouncer, talking to FaZe Banks. You see him act what seems mockingly. Now, one of the videos claimed that he was putting his fists up, but it really does look more like he's dancing, and he has been known to dance like that in his videos, and that is really what it appears to be. So he's definitely acting mockingly, but he's not acting hostile or violent. Now, the next shot you see is them coming up the stairs, from the top of the stairs, and you see him having the bouncer in a headlock. Now, it is unclear what happened in between the bouncer being in between the original confrontation and that shot of him in a headlock. It could be that the bouncer attacked first, and he could have been not in a position to do that. That could have been unwarranted. We don't know exactly what happened because there's no audio to the footage. It's very low res, and we don't see the first point of contact. So what we do see after that is more bouncers come, more staff comes, FaZe Banks gets put in a headlock, he gets dragged up the stairs, and that's when he says, they dragged me up by the neck. When he first, I think it was a Snapchat that he did was I just got choked out because this guy tried to grab my girlfriend's ass. Nowhere do we see any sort of sexual assault in the security footage, so I think that is all we see is her trying to get to FaZe Banks, and the staff keeping them apart. And so yes, she's pushed away, but you never see any sort of sexual assault. So I think that we can safely say, because there's not really any point where she is out of the shot once this all starts, where that could have happened. And I don't really see where he could have mistaken that for happening. But you never know. But it really doesn't seem like that's the case. In any case, there's this whole kind of thing going around of like who's in the wrong, and I think, and this is what Phil DeFranco said, I agree with it. I think everyone was at a certain point in the wrong. The other thing to mention is that FaZe Banks claimed to have had 2 or 3 drinks. The bar staff said that he had had at least 4. He did not seem overly intoxicated in any of his videos that he was releasing during the time that it was happening and everything. He seemed pissed off, but he didn't seem really drunk. He definitely could have been moderately drunk, but he wasn't slurring his speech. He didn't seem off balance. He didn't seem like he had had a ton to drink, more than he could handle. Like, he definitely could have been more drunk than he said he was, but he didn't. I mean, I have a fair amount of experience with that. He didn't seem incredibly intoxicated. So I'd say that everyone kind of seems to be claiming that they are completely fine in this situation and everyone else was in the wrong. I think that everyone did something wrong. Who started it is still up for debate. I would say that, it's hard to say because the first point of contact was not in the shot. All we see is FaZe Banks acting mockingly and then cut to the bouncer in a headlock. So who knows, any number of things could have happened in between those two events. I would say all in all, everyone did something wrong. I think that some bad things happened, and I really, from an emotional standpoint, like, I think that FaZe Banks, his reaction was completely understandable, especially if he had had something to drink and he had been told that he could be down there, and then all of a sudden he's being confronted by this bouncer who did seem to be behaving hostile. Not like violent, but he could have put FaZe Banks on the defensive very easily. So that's just kind of the summary of what happened. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on like who's in the right, who's in the wrong, yada yada yada. I really feel like everyone did something wrong in that situation. I feel like the bouncers behaved a bit too aggressively, unless FaZe Banks really did just out of the blue attack one of them. I think that the women who punched his girlfriend were completely in the wrong. Like, that was a blatant overreaction to a phone being shoved in your face. Like, smack it out of their hand, don't smack them. And I think that FaZe Banks beating that guy that laid hands on his girlfriend, and if he had just hit him once, or he had just hit him enough to get him away from her, I think that it would be a different story. But you do see him nail him in the head many times. I mean, enough to break his finger. I think that that's a little much, but at the same time, he had been he was pretty pissed off at that point. There had already been a number of things that had happened to piss him off. You also see him throw something. The bar claims it's a glass. He claims it was a water bottle. It's hard to tell. I think makes more sense for it to be a glass because he was at a bar, and it would have been easier to find a glass than a water bottle, but again, there's no way of knowing. I think that everyone had some overreactions and everyone behaved in some ways that didn't need to happen. The whole controversy in general, I feel like it's hard to take sides on because everyone has inconsistencies in their story with it, so I feel like everyone did something wrong. But I would love to hear you guys' opinion on what you guys think really happened and everything. Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button. And also subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to see more. I do upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Also make sure to check out my Twitter at UnhingedTweetYT, where I post video updates, as well as let you guys know when I go live on Twitch, which is UnhingedGamingYT. All the links are down in the description. Make sure to check them out. In the meantime, I've been Unhinged Gaming, and I will see you next time.